The NBA just revealed its all-rookie teams, and Raptors shooter Gradey Dick did not make either of them. So in today's video, we discuss if this was a snub or was it deserved. Let's get into it. And also along the way with Gradey Dick, we want to discuss if the Raptors made the right choice in drafting him 13th overall, because there's some players potentially who landed further down in the draft order who have ended up in one of these teams, whereas Gradey Dick has not. But this is Amateur Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Hour Production Network, where we give you additional Toronto Raptors content in videos that are just like this. Make sure you like if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel for more as well. Help us on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and here are the results for the all-rookie team. So, for me, for starters, I did not go into these teams expecting there to be Gradey Dick involved, but players that were involved: Chet, Wembanyama, Brandon Miller, Jaime Jaquez, and Podziemski all made it on the first team. Derek Lively, Amen Thompson, Keontae George, Casey Wallace, Gigi Jackson end up on the second team. And if you are curious, no, positions do not matter for all rookie teams. There was a year where I believe 4 centers made the first all-rookie first team. Positioning doesn't matter here. It's just strictly you get a first-place vote or a second-place vote, and that is a determination of where you do end up. I can't believe that one person didn't give Brandon Miller first-place vote, but Chet and Victor Wembanyama have ended up unanimously voted into the first place. Actually, looking at it now, I think Brandon Miller actually didn't end up on somebody's ballot either, which is even more crazy, but overall, I think that this was pretty accurate. The only change that I would make, I probably would have had Derek Lively in the first team ahead of Brandon Podziemski. Don't hate Podziemski being there, but that's a change I might have made. And looking at the omissions from the team, Trace Jackson-Davis just misses out on a spot. Then it's Osar Thompson, Scoot Henderson, Bilal Coulibaly, and tied with Cam Whitmore in 15th position from rookie voting is Raptors shooting guard Gradey Dick. He got 3 second-place votes, 0 first-place votes, and as I said, ultimately ends up missing out on all rookie selection. So, let's have a look at what Gradey Dick accomplished this season. He had a rough start, but really found his feet. And, when you see numbers like this, field goal percentage of 42.5, three-point percentage of 36.5, an effective field goal percentage of 52.4 with 8.5 points per game. It may not be the most eye-opening, most impressive statistics. However, when you consider how Gradey Dick started his NBA career, he started it rather poorly. When you consider that, you really have to hand it to him because he got those numbers up quite a bit. And perhaps had he hit the ground running with his NBA form, the way it ended the season, he might have made it into a second team there. But ultimately, this is not a snub. This is not really an omission here. I am happy that he got a little bit of respect and a little bit of votes there. Hopefully, that's a nice little bit of confidence boost there. But, he'll understand it was a slow start. That probably cost him a position on either of the rookie teams. But, hey, a lot to build on from this opening season. And the Raptors, I'm sure, feel there is a lot of promise with the player. But if the Raptors could go back to that 2023 NBA draft and could do it over, is there anybody on this list that they would have rather have taken at spot number 13? Like, we see the teams here. The big one, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I really wanted Casey Wallace at the draft. Unfortunately, he went ahead of the Raptors. In fact, OKC traded up to get him at 10. And one of the players that a lot of Raptors fans did want was Keontae George, who ended up in the second team here, 8th overall in voting. And the thing about Keontae George is that he went after where the Raptors were selecting. He went 16th overall to the Utah Jazz. Gradey Dick, of course, 13th overall. And, a litany of players ahead where the Raptors, sure, if they were further up, maybe they could have had one of these guys. But the people below that ended up on one of these all-rookie teams, as I said, Brandon Podziemski, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Keontae George, who we just mentioned. These are some of the players that ended up on this team rather than Gradey Dick, who went lower than him in the draft. So are we looking back? Actually, Gigi Jackson as well, of course, ended up there. Are any of these players overall players the Raptors would have rather have selected in these positions here? And actually, I'm just looking. Gigi Jackson, he wasn't, I'm not sure this was a true rookie season for him, or did he go undrafted? If he went undrafted, sorry, he went 45th overall. Apologies. Gregory Jackson, okay. They don't put his full name here. Gregory Jackson, 45th to the Grizzlies, ended up getting that second team all-rookie selection. But regardless, the big ones you're going to look at, of course, would be Keontae George. But, as I've said all throughout the season here for Gradey Dick and the Raptors, the Raptors aren't drafting Gradey Dick for, season 1 here. They aren't drafting him specifically for, the first 4 months of the season where he didn't play as well. That's not what Gradey Dick was here for. The Raptors feel as though Gradey Dick has the talent to be somebody they're going to use for a very long while moving forward, and somebody who fits in really well. The Raptors desperately needed shooting. They needed a shooter, and they brought him in. And guess what? Early in the season, when all the buzz was about, oh my goodness, how can the Raptors draft Gradey Dick over Jordan Hawkins, 14th overall to the Pelicans? Well, it's actually kind of funny in the end. Gradey Dick gets 3 second-place votes. Jordan Hawkins gets 2 second-place votes. So basically, it was all about patience for Gradey Dick. You're never going to convince me that a guy who had made his living, made his career in basketball off of shooting threes would all of a sudden forget how to shoot the NBA. Got adjusted to the physicality a little bit. Definitely got adjusted to the range and put on, like I said, a great end of season for the Raptors. And this is the type of player they needed. I think if they could go back with the players available in this position, I still think they go Gradey Dick. Keontae George, I think, profited from his situation with the Utah Jazz, where he had such a prominent ball handling role out the gate. But long term, I like what Gradey Dick offers. Jordan Hawkins started pretty well, ended up in the G League. He kind of petered off as the season went on. And look, I think these players are great. All the players here are great that went behind Gradey Dick. But I don't think that the two guys who were actually in conversation to end up at 13th overall in Jordan Hawkins and Keontae George, I don't think the Raptors would go back and take them instead of Gradey Dick. Now, where things might change is the 19th overall pick for Brandon Podziemski. The thing about Podziemski is that, I don't like to look at things in hindsight here. In hindsight, maybe Podziemski gets taken at 13th overall instead of Gradey Dick. But when you look back on the actual draft, the Warriors actually really reached for Podziemski. He was a potential early second-round pick, but was regarded as a late first-round pick. The Warriors reached and did so very successfully, turned into a very good player for them this season, and seems to have a pretty good future ahead. But, that's not one that you can look back on and say, man, how did the Raptors miss out on drafting this guy? There wasn't really any way where they were going to be looking for a player like that. There wasn't really any way that they were going to be going for Brandon Podziemski at the 13th overall selection. So I think overall, perhaps for, I didn't mention Jaime Jaquez went lower. Perhaps, for a couple guys, maybe there's more talent there. But again, Jaime Jaquez came in as an older player. He was supposed to be NBA ready from day one. He was. That's what the Miami Heat got out of him. Brandon Podziemski kind of shocked us in the 19th overall spot. Definitely Gigi Jackson shocked us in the 54th position. But also, he profited from a team that was tanking early and had a lot of injuries. He got a ton of play time. And now he's a good player, but definitely profited from that. The Raptors are tanking out the gate. Surely with the extra Gradey Dick touches, he has further consideration for these teams. But overall, look, it was a great end of the season, a lot to build on. I don't think there's any regrets here from the Raptors over selecting Gradey Dick. There's tons of potential there, tons that they're going to continue to work with, even though, this is not a snub, not making an all-rookie team. There's a lot of ability and a lot of potential. I'm very happy the Raptors have him on their team. And, when it comes to the core for the Raptors, a lot of times when you think of the Raptors' current core, obviously Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickley are available or are in that core. I think we need to start considering this a core four and really lump Gradey Dick in alongside those three players as the ones for the future who are hopefully going to help bring this team to a new level going forward. So what do you make of Gradey Dick not making an all-rookie team? Was it a snub? Was it deserved? How do you feel about his future with the Raptors? Give me your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Check out my other Raptors content here. This is where I do my main Raptors content and videos and streams. And from those streams, we take the best highlights and put them on this channel here, Amateur Reactions. Subscribe to the channel you're currently watching on. Help us on the road to 2,000 subs. Drop a like as well if you enjoyed. And here's another video you may want to check out as well in the Raptors sphere. I'll see you again next time for another video right here on Amateur Sports number 2.